This first news story comes to us from IGN, written by Ryan Dinsdale. Concord is suddenly getting pulled offline with Sony promising full refunds. As alluded to during Ranger's letter, PlayStation hero shooter Concord will be taken offline on September 6th. So it's already happened. September 6, 2024, and all players will receive a full refund, Sony announced today. Announced on the PlayStation blog, director Ryan Ellis said, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Concord will therefore be taken offline so Sony and developer Firewalk Studios can explore options, including those that will better reach our players. The game will be removed from sale immediately, and anyone who purchased on the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct will be refunded to their original payment methods. Those who purchase on Steam and the Epic Game Store will be refunded in the coming days. Physical refunds are a tad trickier, but players can check with individual retailers to obtain a refund. Sony will presumably organize a system with them itself that allows all refunds to be processed fully. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game, Sony made clear. Concord arrived August 23rd, 2024, meaning it has been removed from sale just 11 days after launch and taken offline for all players a mere 2 weeks after. Even those who bought Concord will no longer be able to play after September 6th. Its launch was nothing short of disastrous, with analysts telling IGN it has likely sold as few as 25,000 units. It debuted to a tragic 697 peak concurrent players on Steam, a number that made the 12,786 players of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was dubbed a disappointment by Warner Brothers Discovery boss David Zaslav and caused a $200 million hit to revenue, look like a titan. This comes after 8 years of development and presumably tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars spent by Sony, a company already said to be shifting gears away from live service heavy future. Sony president Hiroki Totoki committed to launching just 6 of 12 live service games in development, and one based on The Last of Us has already been canceled.
Yeah, there's more getting cut. Don't worry.
Yeah, 100%. So this was wild news to see. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even know this game had come out. I remember seeing the trailer at Summer Game Fest. And I think you making a comment, you're like, what is this TV writing like script? Like,
yep,
like it was so bad.
Sure did.
I don't even remember. I remember it. I don't remember it even giving a release date. Apparently it did. And then not only that, it came out with zero fanfare. And so, yeah, and Carrie hits the nail on the head. They didn't do any marketing for it. So like there's one trailer that came out. There's a teaser that came out last year, which literally just showed a logo. There was one trailer that I know of that came out of Summer Game Fest. And then it just came out. And they expected people to buy it and play it. Like,
did you know that they made a controller for this game?
Really?
Yes. They were thinking that this was going to be like their next big thing. They were pushing behind this hard. They were, yeah. No, they thought this was it. From the one trailer that I know that came out that I saw at least, it didn't look that exciting to me. I mean, I'm not a multiplayer hero shooter guy anyways, but even like you said, like the dialogue, like the story they're trying, I'm like, this is kind of weird. I don't understand. Like, it's kind of cheesy, not my cup of tea. I don't know. It's not surprising, but also incredibly tragic. Like, I've never in a million years would have guessed that a game would only get 697 peak concurrent players on Steam. That's wild. Like, for what is essentially a first party PlayStation title, right? At this point,
that's insane. Less than 700 people played this game at one time. Obviously, like 25,000 units were sold. But the fact that like at one time, like it must have been so hard to find a game to play. Like, it makes sense why they're shutting down the servers. It's like, okay, like there's no one playing on them anyways. Probably costs more to upkeep them than people are playing, even utilizing it. I did see somewhere else, there's another article where apparently there's a change.org petition out there though, where people are trying to keep it alive, saying that the reason that they didn't play it, people are literally signing this petition. I should have looked it up if I was
because they didn't even know it came out.
If I was a competent podcaster, but the idea is like we were busy that week, so that's why we didn't play it. So give us another. Let us play.
Brother, come on, do better than that. That's a joke petition.
No, it's 100%, but it's we change.org. The title is "We were all busy that week. Please release Concord again."
That reads like a what is that called? The hard drive.
Yeah, it does. Honestly, it does.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like, okay, real talk about the article. Of course, we never want anything to fail. As video games come out, of course, we always say that, and we always mean it 100%. As much as Concord was not for us, when the initial trailer came out, there was no bone in my body that wanted this game to fail, because there are people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Over years and years, there was a ton of money that had gone into it, and that's somebody's life's work in a sense. Yeah. So I would never want to see it, go up in flames. But the market, it spoke, and it also wasn't marketed very well. I feel like it had a really short run-up window too, from when we first found out about it to when it released. So I feel like it didn't even really have a lot of time to build up hype.
It was like a teaser. Again, this is my foggy memory, but again, that's how bad their marketing was, is that I have only vague memories of things. Most games I can be like, oh yeah, there's a trailer here. This one, it's like, I think last year we got like a 10-second teaser that had a logo. We got the full kind of reveal trailer this summer. And then, that was in June. So then 2 months later, the game just came out. Like, yeah. Again, there might have been more, but that's how bad their marketing was, is that I didn't see it. I never saw ads, nothing. Crazy.
I think this definitely does put the fear of God in Sony, as far as this big live service push. And if not them, definitely the investors, because that's a couple $100 million in the hole now.
Yeah, I wonder what the budget was. Let me look it up.
I don't know, but remember, they also had to buy the studio too. So
right.
Yeah, I think they are. If the conversations weren't being had, which they were, because remember they cut the initiative firstly down from 12 games to 6. If the conversations weren't being had about getting out of the initiative before, they are definitely happening now, with members of the board and the shareholders and the Totoki and Herman. I guess, huh?
I was going to say the exact budget is unknown, but the estimates are around $100 million mark.
Right.
So
that's on top of the money that they sunk into it too. So
right. And then, but yeah, this is so wild because like Firewalk Studio. So Firewalk Studio, from what I understand, now did Sony buy them or did they create them? Because Firewalk doesn't have anything else in their portfolio other than this. Is this the studio where they were working on this beforehand and then Sony bought them because they liked the IP? Okay.
Well, they bought them. I think this is one, and correct me if I'm wrong. Chat can also correct me. I think Carrie's in here too. I don't know if she's had to do any studying on it, but I think this is one of the ones that Bungie advised them on, because you know how they bought Bungie initially to help them pick out or to evaluate live service games that they should invest into or create. And I think that this is the one. I think this is one of the ones that they'll never say it directly, but I think under the table Bungie was like, you guys might want to pick these guys up because this game looks pretty sick. Which, if that's the truth, and if Bungie is the reason that they picked this up, if I'm PlayStation, bro, you were already on thin ice for overvaluing yourself when we bought you guys, and now you're giving us bad advice when we overpaid for you. Yeah, I think you might be out the door. I don't know. That's just me though. That's nuts. That's 2 strikes in this partnership already.
Yeah. So Firewalk was founded in 2018. It was originally owned by probably Monsters, and then and then in 2023 Sony purchased them, and they've been a PlayStation studio since then. It's all so it says it's all veterans from Bungie and Activision, former.
Which is more why I would be like, I think there's a little like quote unquote insider trading or insider bias as to why Bungie would be like, hey, you might want to look at this these firewall guys. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we never want to see anything fail, and it's unfortunate that Concord has failed. But the one, I guess, pseudo positive is maybe this will make Sony, like you said, look at their options and maybe reevaluate their strategy as to maybe not everything we make should be a live service game.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's something that we can kind of make in the middle of between a Last of Us 2 or something on the scale of an indie game. There's somewhere in that middle market that we can exist and thrive. So that's the best we can hope for it. It would be interesting to see if I just hope
Firewalk
comes
gets another
back,
chance.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It'd be interesting to see if it does get a chance to come back. Like if it gets to try to pull a No Man's Sky. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come back. But if it does come back, I'm definitely rooting for that team to see if they can pull it together. So
that's been going around is like, well, I mean, obviously, personally, I want Firewalk to get another chance, even at another game. Like I hope they don't just get shut down, get canned, But if Firewalk, even something I've seen going on the internet, and I was going to ask you how probable you think this is, like, yeah, re-releasing it as a free-to-play game. I've seen a lot of people talk about like, hey, you should re-release it, make it free to play, because it already has the microtransactions, everything in there, just at least to recoup some cost, make it free to play,
right,
and then just kind of continue with that, and then at least get at least a year or two out of it before sunsetting it. How viable do you think that actually is? Because that's then a pretty, I don't know, I've seen a lot of outlets talking about that, and it's like, okay, that seems like they could make that work, but also I don't know, it could also just sink more cost into it and not pan out. Like they could make it free to play and be paying all the hosting fees for all these servers and whatnot and development cost, and then it still not do anything. So I don't know.
I think it's a gamble, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? They already do have a little bit of goodwill because they are refunding everybody who bought it, and they still let you play it on top of that. So with, the majority of the community knowing that's what happened, they might be more willing to give it another chance if it comes back and it's free to play, because technically everybody can say, well, I didn't really spend any money on it, but I did get to play it. And the people who like what they played, it's just more of what you played. Now it's back.
Yeah.
And you always have the potential to get more eyes on your game if you don't have to pay for it. So you're gambling, on A, word of mouth from people who have played it already, and then B, the fact that it's a free game. So your odds are increased with that original market that you have. So I think it's worth the gamble. Okay. I mean, worst that happens is it comes out, flops again, and we just nip it in the bud right there. Yeah.
How sad would that be? They release it free to play, like 2 weeks later, like, we're pulling it again, you guys. Fool me for real
once. This time, it's done.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Carrie said, just make more Astrobot. I mean, yeah. I don't see why not.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.